Well, g'day, Fishos. Brent from Tackle World, Port Stephens. Sorry about the last 2 weeks. I've had a bit of time off, bit of a family holiday, so a bit out of mobile range, you could say. No fishing, unfortunately, but good time away with the family. So back into the action of the fishing report, and we've received plenty of photos over the last week, 2 weeks, of some really good fish being caught. Despite the weather's been so up and down like a yo-yo. I can't remember a winter like it, to be honest with you. It hasn't been a good winter, that's for sure. Plenty of cold fronts coming through, and this weekend looks exactly the same, winter westerlies. So I reckon this weekend's going to be definitely a beach and rock weekend with those westerlies. The swell will stay down, but the beaches and rocks will fish really well, and they have been, that's for sure. I've seen plenty of photos and reports coming from the beaches and rocks at the moment. So let's begin in the estuary. Water's definitely cooled down a lot at the moment. I spoke to Paul off Port Stephens Estuary Charters. He said the water there at the back of the bay is down to about 14.5 degrees. So yeah, the fish have got a little bit of lockjaw, you could say. They're biting really well on the tide changes, but before that and after the tide changes, they're definitely hard to find. But you can still find a few fish around, even though the water is cold. He's been nailing a few nice brim on the soft plastics, especially the Gulp 3-inch minnows, and a few flatties to boot. So winter fishing not too bad in the bay. Ros Coles, she went out with her husband Wayne and kicked his butt. Got a really nice dewy on the vibe there, so there's still a few dewy in the bay. Even though the water is cold, they will bite, like I said, on those tide changes. So a few dewy still in the bay at the moment. It was a really nice fish. We'll put that up on our social pages, especially Instagram at the moment. Speaking of which, we've been getting heaps of photos through. We appreciate it. We just got to get through them all and get them up on our Instagram page. So we appreciate to our customers sending those photos in, that's for sure. So plenty of luderick still on both breakwalls, the Anchorage and also Nelson Bay. What have been there are some really good fish, some larger fish. I think that flush of flooding that we had back in March, April has certainly sent down some bigger luderick this season, some absolute crackers around. Plenty of fish over the kilo mark. I spoke to Ted, he caught 1.1 kilos cleaned for Shoal Bay Fishing Club last weekend. So some really nice luderick around at the moment. You probably, some of the guys I've been speaking to aren't getting the bag limit, but what they've been getting is quality. So some absolute pearlers down there at the moment. So up your litre to about 10 pound fluorocarbon at the moment to get those bigger fish. Also offshore, we should talk beach and rock first. There you go, 2 weeks off and I'm muttering my words. So let's get into the beaches. Despite the swell being up over the last week or last weekend, when it drops off, the fishing has been sensational on the beaches at the moment. There's been some ripper fish off the beaches. Plenty of salmon and tail, some absolute hooter tail around. We just saw on our Instagram page last week, and we put a photo up of Matt there, 76 centimetre tail. That's an absolute beauty. You don't hear of those too often around Port Stephens, so absolute beauty of a tailor. So there's been plenty of good tail around. Harrow got into them as well, throwing some of the hot shot lures out, so he got some really nice tail on the hot shots there. He said he even had a bigger tailor bite one in half, so there you go, I actually saw it happen. So some good tail around on the beaches at the moment. Some good winter brim around as well, so if you're keen on your brim fishing, those early morning low tides will be fine. Find a gutter, you'll get some really nice brim, I think, over the weekend, especially on live beach worms at the moment. So beaches be worth a shot. Fingal, 1 mile be worth a go to in the westerly. Barubie gets a little bit of that westerly and can be a little bit uncomfortable, so see how we go. Definitely beaches be worth a go this weekend. Off the rocks, plenty of drummer around. Lots of drummer at the moment. Saw a photo of John's fish, 60 centimetre black drummer. That's an absolute beauty of a black drummer. So some good ones around in the washes at the moment. You expect that now the water's cooled off to about 17, 18 degrees. The drummer are really going to fire up. So too the groper when the swell backs off. Be plenty of blue groper and brown groper around at the moment. Still a chance of a snapper, but you want to do that at first light, last light with a low swell at the moment. So beaches and rocks definitely worth a shot this weekend. Now on the offshore, plenty of good snapper around. Some absolute beauties around at the moment. We're just off the back of the new moon. You expect the snapper fishing to be really, really good. Let's send some photos, some absolute cracking fish this week. One that stands out though is Shane. Bit of a story to this one. 7.1 kilo fish. Didn't hook it. Anyway, if you want to come and have a chat about that story, he just free netted that fish, so there you go. So we call it a caught fish or not, but it was an absolute crack. We'll put that photo up on our Instagram page. Spoke to Chris there. He actually got some rippers this week as well. Some really nice fish, 6-7 kilos. He's throwing plastics into the washes there around the island. So some really nice fish getting around at the moment. Plenty of panties around there as well. So those 1 to 2 kilo fish, lots of those around. So good on the plastics at the moment. Some good trag around at the moment. Al got some nice trag up on the big gibby this week. Some really nice fish, up to 3 kilos. So still a few trag hanging around some of the outer reefs at the moment. Allmark Mountain, some kings up that way. I spoke to Guardsy. He went up to Allmark on the Thunder. So new boat called Thunder, really nice boat, that one. They got into some kings, had a bit of a troll down the edge of the shelf, caught 2 striped marlin. So there you go. So some interesting water out the front at the moment. There's a little bit of an eddy of water holding 21.5 degrees. So there's some winter striped marlin out there at the moment. And you would have seen a dolphin fish that we put up on our Instagram page caught by Hosco. So nice dolphin fish as well. So you never know what happens in winter. We just got to get the right weather to go and fish it. So there you go. There's our fishing report this week. Jam-packed, plenty of fishing. I suggest this weekend you get out there and fish the beaches and rocks. I wouldn't worry about the estuary too much. It's going to be a bit blowy, and offshore is going to be a little bit difficult as well. But I say we move the weekend to a Wednesday or Thursday. So forget about Saturday, Sunday. The weekends are now Wednesday and Thursday. So just tell the weather report that one. Anyway, have a good week. We'll talk next week.